What up, YouTube? Team Movies here, with The Irishman premiering on Netflix Wednesday. Since it is also a pretty interesting comeback for actor Joe Pesci, who I'm really happy to see Joe Pesci making a bit of a comeback. Even though it's a Netflix film, it's pretty cool to see him, back in the spotlight, really. And been hearing like he might actually, do like more movies in their future too, which is always like more Joe Pesci is always great. Like the guy's awesome. He's an Oscar-winning actor. He's been in some great gangster films. He's been in some really great comedies, dramas, and all. Like who doesn't love Joe Pesci? So with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Joe Pesci movies. Okay, coming in at number 10, it is the film Jimmy Hollywood. Now in it, Joe Pesci plays this unemployed actor named Jimmy Alto, who is this unemployed actor living in Hollywood, California, and he decides to July his boredom by fighting crime. And so with the assistance from his dimwit buddy named William, played by Christian Slater, Jimmy ends up forming a vigilante group and adopts a alias named Jarucho. Rather than just taking on the criminals directly, Jimmy ends up recording them engaging in legal activity. So this is kind of a pretty funny Joe Pesci film. Like the guy shows that he could do comedy. Like I've got a couple of Joe Pesci led comedies in this list really, and this movie is pretty hilarious. I mean Christian Slater, like who who knew that guy could play a dimwit character like that? I mean he's mainly more of a serious type actor, and seeing Christian Slater play like a dimwit character was pretty cool to watch. Joe Pesci was pretty great. You also had Victoria Abra was also in there. Some really good cast members. Pretty funny, entertaining at times. It does have a lot of heart to it as well. I mean, yeah, if you guys never really seen Jimmy Hollywood, it's pretty good. Alright. Coming in at number 9, it is the very controversial film JFK, which is from director Oliver Stone, and also it's about the conspiracy theories surrounding the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And you got Joe Pesci who plays a pilot who Kevin Costner's character Garrison ends up accusing of being a part of the assassination, and Pesci's character's name is David William Ferry. And Joe Pesci was pretty great in this. Like the integration scene between Kevin Costner and Joe Pesci. Whoever knew that a scene with Joe Pesci and Kevin Costner could work out pretty well. This movie also has there's also some pretty cool scenes with him and Tommy Lee Jones in this. Not to mention, Donald Sutherland. I mean, what a really great cast. And yeah, I mean, if you guys never really seen JFK, give it a go. I mean, Joe Pesci's scenes are pretty interesting to watch, and yeah, crazy to believe that stuff like this actually really happened in real life, but yeah. Alright. Coming in at number 8, it's another, well, it's not really comedy, it's more of a drama than comedy. That is a film called With Honor. Now, in this, Joe Pesci plays this homeless man who ends up finding a Harvard student's thesis on the street, and he ends up blackmailing the student by giving him back the one page at a time. And so Brandon Fraser, of course, plays the young student in this, and there's like a friendship that is formed between Brandon Fraser and Joe Pesci. Now this movie had lots of parts. It's a movie about friendship and all, and Joe Pesci was terrific in this. Joe Pesci and Brandon Fraser's chemistry, that was kind of an unlikely chemistry you'll never picture. But they really play off each other really well. It's also written by this acclaimed playwright named William Mastry Simone, and it's directed by this director named Alex Kanesian, who also directed music videos for Madonna. So there's that too. Yeah, and Joe Pesci as a homeless guy, you could really buy that really well. Like, Joe Pesci could play that guy could easily play a homeless guy really cool, like very decent. And if you guys ever see With Honor, it's really good. Alright. Coming in at number 7, it is Easy Money. Now the film starred famed stand-up comedian Ryan Dangerfield, who of course he ended up breaking out into films with Caddyshack, and so he ended up leading a new feature film, which was Easy Money. And he plays and this was actually like a follow-up to Caddyshack, and Dangerfield plays like this hard living drinker, and a gambler whose like mother-in-law ends up leaving him a great ideal and all with money with the speculation that he ends up cleaning up his ways in order to inherit the money. And you got Joe Pesci who plays like his who actually plays his best friend and a sidekick in the film. And Joe Pesci and Ryan Dangerfield, those two played off each other great in this. And Easy Money is really hilarious. And Ryan Dangerfield was the man. That guy really could make you laugh. And this is actually the movie that really proves that Joe Pesci can do more than just play the tough guy mafia character. Yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to Easy Money. But yeah, Easy Money is a really hilarious one. It's been a while since I've seen Easy Money, but I remember watching it, when it was on TV once, and I really got a kick out of it. And definitely, Ryan Dangerfield and Joe Pesci's on-screen chemistry is definitely worth to watch the movie. All right, coming in at number 6, it is Raging Bull. Now, this movie was one of the few movies that Joe Pesci ended up working with Scorsese on, and who Raging Bull is definitely one of the coolest boxing movies there is. You got Robert De Niro as Jake LaMotta. You got Joe Pesci who plays his brother named Joey LaMotta, who I guess you could say was also like a like his part of his training as well. Now, Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci both really play off each other well. I mean, the brotherly bond was pretty cool to watch, and the interaction between Pesci and De Niro kicked off a really cool friendship for one another. I mean, since Raging Bull, they've done loads of other movies together. Like, of course, they got The Irishman coming out pretty soon. But yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Raging Bull, it's probably my second favorite boxing movie, right behind Rocky. It's really great. Like a cool boxing movie, full on black and white. Jake, great underdog story with Jake LaMotta. Really classic film. All right, coming in at number. All right, coming in at number 5 is another Scorsese, De Niro, and Pesci team up, and that is Casino. Now, here you got Robert De Niro who plays one of the crime bosses who is running a Vegas casino, and you got Joe Pesci as the Chicago based mafia operative who makes sure that the mob ends up getting their share of the casino's operation of the profits, I should say. And Joe Pesci, he was messed up. Like he was great in this. Don't get me wrong, but man, that Joe Pesci's character in this is really someone you. I mean, his character, Nicky Centaurio, is really one character you would not want to mess with. I mean, and this is also based on a book by the same guy who wrote the book of Goodfellas, which of course Pesci, De Niro, and Scorsese all worked on together. Casino it's a really violent. I mean, I already talked about this movie a little yesterday when I was talking about gangster films, and Casino is definitely one of the coolest gangster movies there is. It's really iconic, very violent. Come on, you got Sharon Stone, James Woods is in this, Don Rickles. I mean, who doesn't love Casino? If you guys haven't really seen Casino by now, it's one of Scorsese's classics right there. And man, Joe Pesci, like, he messed up people badly in this. And yeah, definitely pretty violent if you want to look at this film that way. Alright, coming in at number 4, it's the Lethal Weapon sequels. Now, of course, Joe Pesci have actually, like, he didn't appear in the first Lethal Weapon, but he ended up appearing in the in Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3, and I probably prefer Lethal Weapon. Like, out of all the sequels, I probably prefer Lethal Weapon 4 over the other two. I mean, there are some pretty fun, entertaining action films. You know, you've got Riggs and Murtaugh who are trying to take down some of the drug dealers, but they also end up turning out to be not one of the real, like, not running out of the middle drug dealers. And so you got Joe Pesci plays this character, this man named Leo Getz, who who Riggs and Murtaugh are ends up being reassigned to protect a man who is like supposed to testify against a big drug case. And Lethal Weapon 2, it's really fun. I mean, it's probably one of the best action sequels there is. It's really entertaining. I mean, Richard Donner once again directed this, and come on, Richard Donner actually directed all the Lethal Weapon movies. Believe it or not, that was pretty cool. Like, usually every sequel there'll be like a different director directing each sequels. Nope, Richard Donner was like, "Hey, these are my babies. No one's touching my baby." So I guess they decided to just have the same director on board for all of them. But hey, he gave us Superman, so why not? And Joe Pesci, you know, sort of like how the Fast and Furious franchise became great became much better once The Rock came on board. Tell you one thing, Lethal Weapon, like the first Lethal Weapon was great. It's an action classic, but to me, the Lethal Weapon franchise has actually gotten better when Joe Pesci came on board. Because to me, I think Joe Pesci made the Lethal Weapon sequels really, really awesome. I mean, maybe if Joe Pesci wasn't really in the sequels, maybe the sequels wouldn't have been as good. But Pesci as the Getz character is really fun. If you guys haven't really seen the Lethal Weapon sequels, go check them out. I mean, you got Mel Gibson and Dan Glover in all of them. Some really fun flicks. Alright. Coming in at number 3, it is My Cousin Vinny. Now, in this, Joe Pesci plays this low level anyway, Joe Pesci plays like this New York lawyer who travels to rural Alabama to help his cousin that's been falsely accused of murder. And you have Marissa Tomei who ended up scoring one of the biggest she actually won an Oscar that year, and a lot of people were surprised that she actually won for this. I mean, I don't know why people are shocked. She was great in this movie. But anyway, yeah, this is definitely one of Joe Pesci's most iconic roles today. It is definitely one of his funniest roles. I mean, it's a very cool fish out of water scenario. I mean, the guy goes from going from New York City to a place in rural Alabama, and like him as a Vinny Gambini is a really iconic character, and Joe Pesci really played that role well. You also got Ralph Macchio in this. I've already said this, but Marissa Tomei was a doll in this. I mean, why are people so shocked that she actually won her Oscar? I really have no idea why, but still, My Cousin Vinny it's iconic. If you guys ever seen My Cousin Vinny by now, go check it out. It's probably one of Joe Pesci's top tier films. Alright, coming in at number 2, it is the Home Alone movies. Now, Joe Pesci, he's kind of more of an actor who has a foul mouth in any films. Where, like, almost all of his movies, he had such a foul mouth. So it was kind of weird to really see Pesci in a kids movie, and that is, of course, Home Alone. I mean, he of course plays one of the wet bandits who teams up with Down Stern. I mean, Harry and Marv. Come on, two of the coolest wet bandits, like two of the coolest robbers there is. But they end up breaking into Kevin McAllister's home to they really want like some rare stuff in there, which I never understood. Like, I love Home Alone, but there's not really anything that valuable in the house to steal. So I still never understood why Harry Marv even wants to actually steal that house. But anyway. But of course, you got Macaulay Culkin, Kevin McAllister character, who's they're home alone, and so he's setting traps to take down Harry and Marv. And they're like, how on? I still have no idea how Harry and Marv ended up surviving those movies. That's always still been beyond me. But still, Joe Pesci and like Daniel Stern, those two were great together. Like, there was other wet bandits that came after, like other robbers that came after, with the sequels, but they could not be. I mean, they definitely could not have been Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. I mean, those two really like play off each other well, and of course, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern ended up reprising their roles for Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, and I thought they were as really good in Home Alone 2 as well. And I mean, obviously, you're gonna have Joe Pesci in a sequel that takes place in New York City because he has like a New York accent, so obviously. But yeah, the Wet Bandits are some real like yeah. To me, Harry is definitely one of like Joe Pesci's best work, like one of his funniest and best characters, and it's pretty cool. Like, it is a bit weird to see Joe Pesci like who has a foul mouth in a kids movie, but he was really random. Coming in at number one, my number one favorite Joe Pesci movie of all time. It's really the one that won him, that ended up winning him an Oscar, and that is going obviously to Goodfellas. I mean, Joe Pesci adds the role of Tommy DeVito, who's pretty much like a vicious who is of course a vicious killer in the mafia and all. Tommy DeVito is one mess up character, but Joe Pesci really played that role just just perfect. I mean, he has some really cool lines. Whether it's how am I funny? I mean, I cannot do a good Joe Pesci impersonation, but yeah, how am I fighting? Or the scene when he ends up shooting Spider, who, by the way, that guy Spider was played by Sopranos dude Michael Imperioli. So there's a little tip for you there too. But yeah, Goodfellas, like I said, also was the movie that won Pesci his first ever Oscar, and definitely a well deserving Oscar win because Joe Pesci was he was so darn cool in this movie. I mean, he was like very violent. He was a major nutcase, and he really portrayed Tommy DeVito in such a really messed up way. Because Tommy DeVito was also in the Jersey Boy gang, so I was that should be odd, but and he also had great chemistry with with Ray Liotta's Henry Hill, as well as Robert De Niro. Not to mention it was Scorsese who directed this movie. Yeah, Goodfellas is definitely, to me, it is the best film that Joe Pesci has ever been in. It's just iconic. One of the I already did my 10 favorite gangster movies yesterday, and Goodfellas was definitely in that list. It to me, it's not. It's also a great film. Not only a best Joe Pesci movie or best gangster movie, but it's actually literally in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I'm not kidding there. But yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Goodfellas by now, go give it a go. It's a '90s classic right there. And crazy to believe that this and Home Alone got released in the same year. I was found that to be interesting. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Jimmy Hollywood. 9, JFK. 8, With Honor. 7, Easy Money. 6, Raging Bull. 5, Casino. 4, Lethal Weapon 2. 3, My Cousin Vinny. 2, Home Alone. And 1, Goodfellas. Now, there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. Let me pull up this credit list. Let's see. Once Upon a Time in America. A Bronx Tale, directed by De Niro. The Super. The Good Shepherd, which was also directed by De Niro. So, Love Ranch was actually his last movie before The Irishman. Gone Fishing. Speaking of Dan Glover, let's see. He was also in that Michael Jackson Moonwalker film. Remember that one? Yeah, I don't. Let's see. He was in the film Man on Fire. Not to be confused with the Denzel film, but there was another film called Man on Fire. Cannot wait to watch The Irishman. You're gonna probably see that. I'm probably gonna check out The Irishman on Netflix on maybe Thursday. Then I have my review up either that week, like that day, or maybe that Friday. We'll see. But some really Joe Pesci's been some really interesting stuff over the years. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Joe Pesci movies? Drop a comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is C Movie signing off.